Well, hello guys. I want to give you a quick update. Well, I am gonna go. Made my mind. I'm gonna go to the casino. If I don't go Saturday, I think I'm not gonna do it overnight. I think I'm just gonna go down for a day trip on Saturday. If I don't do it on Saturday, I don't really like going on Saturday. I think I'll go Monday. But anyway, I'm gonna go over at that first jackpot and give it a shot. I talked to my daughter this morning. Lives in Kansas, and there's casinos about 30 minutes from her house. And I know Brentley goes up there, so I'm gonna plan a trip and go up there. We're gonna do some gambling. We'll be able to show y'all some live gambling, but I want to give you an update on what's going on. But I'm really excited about this. So I know I'm trying to just keep everybody informed what's going on because we want to get this channel going. Okay, and y'all know I like to tell stories. And told you my wife passed away. Well, me and my wife's married for about 35 years, and she never really got that mad at me. But the maddest she ever got mad at me was we was working at the church, and the church needed a commode. So there's about five of us men jumped in my truck to go get a commode. Well, we wound up at the Harley shop. Yep. And I done turned around there and I bought me a brand new Harley. Brand new. Well, of course, it took a little time. We was gone for a while. And I don't know, for some reason or another, right after I signed papers on it and got it, phone rung. It was my wife. And I don't know, maybe something told her or what, but her question to me was, "Are you at the Harley shop?" I said, "Yeah." And she hung the phone up. I knew then I was in trouble. I knew I was in trouble. So I had my truck and I had my trailer, my four wheeler hooked to it. And so I told that old boy, I said, I want to come back and get this bike. And he said, okay, that's not an issue. So I left, got to think about it, and I thought about my friend Randy. I called him and I said, hey, you go out there and get that bike and just bring it to the church. He said, yes. I called old boy at the Harley shop, told Randy was coming to get it. He knew Randy, knew me. So I went on to the church. Of course, everybody was gone. Well, here he come on the bike. He brought the bike to me, so I left my truck at the church, and I got on that bike, carried home, and the whole time I'm thinking, oh boy, this ain't good. It ain't good. I knew it wasn't good. Well, I pull up to the house, and I get there to the garage, and all of a sudden, I see that the garage door's closed. And guess where my remote is to open the garage? In my truck. Don't get nude. I said, oh, Lord, you're going to have to go in here with me. The Lord said, I ain't going in there with you. Oh, goodness. So I had my phone. I called her. I said, can you open the garage? Click. The garage opened. So I pulled the bike in the garage. And I got off the bike. And I was scared. I knew she was mad. And I walked in there. She never said nothing to me. She didn't speak. She didn't look at me. But I knew she was mad. Man, it was so bad that my daughter, she went and stayed with her cousin because she wasn't going to be there at the house. I think my daughter called me stupid or something. You know, I don't know why. But anyway, uh, we it went that whole night. It was bad. Now listen, it done got out through the church and everywhere that I done went and done get the commode and bought a Harley, and everybody knew about this. We had to go to church that morning. Phew. If I'd placed a bet on her killing me. So that Sunday morning, I told her, I looked at her, she said that tape still wasn't speaking to me, and I told her, I said, I tell you what, I don't want nothing coming between us. They're open today. If you, after church, you follow me out there, we'll give that bike back to them. So she didn't say nothing. Well, other men in the church, they all had bikes. And usually after church, they'd go on a ride. I'd be left behind. And then I felt like I'd left out. But that's all right. I've been left out in the cold if it'd been up to my wife. So anyway, after church, one of the guys, stupid guy, spoke up and said, "Hey, we're going on a ride. You going with us?" I said, "No." I said, "I'm not going with you." I said, I think I'm going to carry the bike back. Oh, okay. Well, I knew where they rode. But anyway, we got home. I told my wife, I said, "Well, come on, let's take this bike back." And she loved me. She said, "No, I guess you can keep it." And I said, "No, I don't want you to miss." She said, "I ain't mad." I said, "Okay, I'll keep it." Now, I wasn't about to ask her, could I get on it and go catch up with the guys? I mean, I'm stupid. I ain't that stupid. Well, about 10 minutes after, she said, "Well, don't you want to go get on it and go catch up with him and ride with him?" And I said, "You don't care?" She said, "No, I don't care." She said, "I'll meet you back over at church." Now, to back up a little bit, I told you I left my truck at the church with my trailer, my four-wheeler on it, and I needed a ride back over to the church to get my truck. Well, she wasn't going to give me no ride. I wasn't going to ask her. So we got my neighbor, and I said, "Hey, you give me a ride back over here to church." He, "Yeah, man." So he gave me a ride over there, and I told him, he had a Harley too, and I told him what happened. He said, "Man, you crazy. You crazy." But anyway, that's my Harley story. That's the maddest she ever been. Uh, Man, I loved her a bunch, and she was good to me. And that you just had to know her. You just had to know her. But anyway, appreciate y'all giving me an update. Love you. Subscribe, share, like, whatever it is, however order it goes. But anyway, I want to give you an update. We are going to do some gambling. We're going to video it. Or Hillbilly Gambler may wind up in jail. I don't know. But we're going to get this going. Okay? All right, I love you. Don't forget, send a few dollars St. Jude to them out. Love you guys. All right? Well, this cracker head thing, don't get do. Still there. We'll try again. You still there.
This sucker fly. Boom, baby, boom.
You still there. This thing is